Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am showing you how I made this shaker card featuring the little reindeer agenda stems from Mama Elephant. So first of all I die cut the star grid out of some Neenah Solar White 110, and to be sure that the stars would stay there I added some purple tape on the back for the blending part. So at the bottom of this panel I am using old paper and I am using distressed oxide inks because they blend really easy, and for the top I am using faded jeans. To make the top more darker, I also took some black soot and I added it just on the top. And next up I took my faded jeans once more and my old paper. I decided to use my distress sprayer to add some more splatters on top of this panel, and I dried it quite quickly with a paper towel. And then it was time to stamp out my images. I stamped out each reindeer that there is in the stamp set. I'm going to use these images for another card as well, which I will hopefully upload soon. But in this video you will see all the coloring. I'm stamping it out on Neenah Solar White 110 cardstock using Memento Tuxedo black ink because I'm going to color with Copic markers. And because this card was going to be really loaded with images and stuff like that, I decided to use the same colors for the reindeer so that there was no different sort of brown going on in this card, just keeping that part simple. So I'm showing you a few reindeers and how I colored their skin, but then I will skip a bit because it's always the same. I am adding the lightest color first, then adding the shadow with the darkest color, and then I go back in with the lightest color to get a nice gradient. I am putting the caps on the top so that you can see which colors I used, and for the rest I'm just going to put on some music, and I hope you enjoyed watching the coloring. So now that everything is colored in, I die cut all the reindeers using the matching dies. And then I selected a few which I was going to use on this card. So after I was happy with how I laid the reindeers, I decided to assemble the shaker card. So therefore I first had to remove my purple tape. And I did it really slowly, but I sped the video up. But I did it slowly so that the stars would stick in the right spots to make it easier for me to continue. So this is my American sized card base, and I added some permanent Pritt adhesive roller onto the back of each star, with the idea to sort of inlay the stars onto my American card base immediately. But this way I did not have to get them in there. I just had to lift up the rest of the grid. So here I saw that there was a little part of my card base that was too big, but okay. And then I decided to cut my acetate for each star. I am not going to make a shaker card for each star, but just a few where there are no reindeers in front of it. So here you can see that the inlay worked out. When I removed my reindeers, I made sure to place them sort of at the same spots next to my card so that I would not forget where I wanted them. And then I added some Gina K Design Connect glue on the back of my grid, there where the shaker should be. And I adhered my acetate. Next, I took my Darice foam strips. I really love these strips to make shaker cards. Here I fiddled a bit, and in the end I am changing this part, but you will see it's not that difficult. But these strips are amazing. If you take off the backings, you can easily bend it and stuff like that. And this size is just perfect. So when you are making shaker cards, it's really important to make sure that where you are putting the shaker bits, that there are no gaps between the foam strips that you are using, otherwise the shaker bits could just slip through and your card would be ruined. So make sure that there are no gaps in between. After I adhered the foam strips from Darice there where my shaker is, I added some foam squares, really cheap ones, on the other parts where I am not putting any shaker bits. So when you are making shaker cards, it's really handy when you put some anti-static powder on the inside of the shaker part, so that your shaker bits will not get stuck onto the sticky foam strips that you are using. So therefore I'm using some baby powder, and then I use a paper towel to get it off of my windows. And next up I decided to get rid of all the backings so that I could assemble my shaker part. So I decided to add my shaker parts onto my card base, just to keep it easy to line it up with my grid. But at some places I added too much, so I will wipe it away. So for my shaker I'm using these confettis from Nuvo, which I really like. It's like snow, and then when the light is on there, there are different colors, and it's really lovely. And next I am adhering my grid on top of it so that my shaker is finished. So lining it up with the stars on my card base, and then I am pressing it down really firmly. I'm shaking it a bit because there were some shaker parts that were next to my stars, so they came out and then everything got stuck where it should be. So I was really happy, and now it is time to adhere all my reindeers on top of it. Therefore I'm using a combination of just liquid glue from Gina Designs and some foam squares as well. Next I decided to add some more of the shaker bits onto my grid itself, and therefore I used the Gina Design Connect Glue once more and my quick stick tool to get all the snowflakes in the right place. And after I was happy with the amount of snowflakes added, my card is done. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video and the design. You can always leave comments below if you have any questions or whatever, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye!